Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and kind of like what I was saying in my Universes Beyond Ups and Downs video, I decided to kind of look at what if I had to pick 5 Universes Beyond to add to Magic, what would be my top 5? So these are going to be in reverse order. So low to number 5 is the lower one. Number 1 is the one I absolutely want. You could probably guess some of them. Some of them you've probably heard me mention before. And to be fair, I think all 5 of these could be wonderful and amazing things that could both be really fun and add something to Magic. So let's get straight into it. With number 5, and I mentioned this in my Secret Lair video, is historical figures or historical mythology, but done respectfully, right? We don't want to caricaturize anybody's culture, history, or their important historical figures. Now, these would be best for secret lairs, as I have said before, and I still believe that Wizards should and could use this as a philanthropic venture, donating profits to artists from those various cultures, to cultural preservation efforts and things like that. It wins both Hasbro from a purely capitalistic standpoint. It would win Hasbro and Wizards good optics. From a more holistic view, it gives folks from cultures that have seen their culture kind of emulated by Magic the Gathering be truly represented, right? Give them the honor that they're due from when Wizards has borrowed from them before. I would love to see that. And so, again, kind of like I mentioned in that video, is you could hire artists from those various cultures, whether it be South American artists, artists from different regions of Africa or India or China, Korea, Japan, Central Asia, the Middle East, parts of Europe, anywhere, right? Polynesia. And getting them to do the arts and styles of the cards in those cultural forms. Imagine if we had something that was like dealt with like a secret lair celebrating Spain and Moorish cultural blend, and you had like the beautiful mosaic kind of pattern on a card, or like I mentioned before, imagine like a Chinggis Khan card where it's done in a traditional Mongolian art style with traditional Mongolian script on it, or you could do any number of things, right? And if Wizards is afraid of politics, they can use ancient figures, right? Some figures might be considered too modern and too risky from their business standpoints, right, to be able to use. And so, like ancient figures, everybody from like Mansa Musa, Chinggis Khan, Bodhisattva, Oda Nobunaga, blanking on a few others right now. And this would also be a good way to get some figures in and do it respectfully in a way that helps those groups and pays homage to the many cultures of the players that play Magic the Gathering. At number 4, so a little bit of backstory. The first movie I ever remember seeing was at home, and it was Predator. I was very young, probably too young to watch Predator, but movie is incredible. So the AvP Universe, like Aliens and Predator, right? And I think that this would work best as Commander product, right? Or Commander decks. Give us 3. So the first one would be Xenomorph themed, right? Have the Xenomorphs, have the Commander be like the Xenomorph Queen, and then maybe the backup Commander be like the Predalien from AvPR, right? And you could have various types of Xenomorphs, right? We've seen them both in comics and in movies and in lore, everything from the dog Xenomorph to like people Xenomorphs, the neophyte from Prometheus. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of this series, you can probably tell. And then what I would say is give them 2 mechanics to really revolve around for the Xenomorphs. I would go with Emerge. So you're kind of sacrificing creatures to bring them forth. And then incubate. So we saw incubate in March of the Machines, where you incubate and it creates like a Phyrexian pod, but do incubate xenomorph, right? And so the incubate could show like the xenomorph in the chest, and then it's like it's bursting out when it, you know, when it's done incubating and becomes. I would use both of those. For the second deck, of course, we are going to use the Yacha. What most people know as the Predators. Their actual species name is Yacha. And have them revolve around their trophy hunting, honor, their sophistication in technology, right? You can have things like their spaceship in there. You can have equipment like their like blaster cannons that they have. You can theme these around different types of Yacha. You could even put some of the characters from some of the different ones we've seen in the movies, right? From the big hulking ones in in Predators, and then some of the newer movies, to the original one, the one from Predator 2. And I would give them both the prowl mechanic, because they're kind of prowling and hunting, allow them to play the other Yacha for their prowl cost, or enrage, because in the movies, every time one of them gets hurt, they get really upset, right? Oh, I just thought of another equipment. They could have their little wrist bracer. So you equip it to your creature and maybe have some certain amount of cost or charge counters it gets on it, and have it so if it gets that prerequisite of the amount of charge counters and then attached to the creature and the creature dies, it could explode, right? Kind of like how they do in the movies. And then, of course, the third deck would be humans and colonial marines themed, right? So this is where you could put Dutch. This is where you could put Danny Glover's character, right? You could put all the different heroes, whether it be from the movie Prey, Predators, the original, right? You can have that whole commando squad. You can put Ripley in, right? You can put all of the different colonial marines that we've seen, even some generic ones. And then you could also put with that the androids, right? Like Bishop, like David, like Walter. And then mechanics that I would put along with this one would be the bolster mechanic, right? Because they're mostly soldiers and they're going to be bolstering each other. And then mobilize, because you're mobilizing the colonial marines, kind of get them into play. Commanders for that, like you could go the really iconic route, and you could go with Dutch and make him. And also, I think all of these should be 3-color potentially, or 2-color. For aliens, I would probably go Golgari, so black green. If you're gonna go a third color, I would go probably black, green, and blue. For the Yacha, I would probably go Gruel, which is green and red. If you're gonna throw a third color in there, I would probably make that black. And then for the colonial marines, this is I would do probably white, red, and you could maybe put some blue in there to represent like the androids. But as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of this, and like I would love this. And then give us some secret layers along with it, right? With some cards in there. For number 3, we have the Elder Scrolls. We got Fallout, right? We got Fallout. Now give us the Elder Scrolls. And Elder Scrolls is so large that you could make commander decks out of it, or a whole set, right? So with the Fallout decks, they made Fallout 4, one with dog meat. They had a Fallout 3 one. And Fallout 76 with the Wise Mothman. I think there were 3. And then there's the Caesar's Legion one, so Fallout New Vegas. So they spanned several games, and you could do that with the Elder Scrolls, but you could also make a whole set, right? Like, so you could make a commander deck. You could make commander product around Skyrim alone, or Oblivion, or Morrowind for the OG Elder Scrolls fans, but you can have your legendary artifacts in the Elder Scrolls themselves and the Daedric artifacts, right? Like you have Volendrung and the Mask of Claudius Vile, Ring of Namira, the Ebony Blade, Gold Brand. You can also, like, if you want to get some more legendary things in there, you could put Wuthrund in from Skyrim. You could have the dragons like Alduin and Parthenax, right? You can have the Dragonborn. But yeah, I just think that Elder Scrolls is something that both fits thematically with Magic's already existing IP and could fit in really easily. At number 2, this one's probably, I'm a little unique on this one, but give me more Godzilla. We got some in the Ikoria decks, but they were all like existing creatures that got Godzilla cards made with them. Give us straight Godzilla. Give Toho what they want, and give us real Mothra, real Rodan. Like, and these could be absolutely be commander decks, right? You could have Godzilla themed. You could have King Ghidorah, and you could have like crossovers, right? Where like some of the monsters or the kaiju have always been bad guys, some have always been good guys, some have been a mixed bag, but like with Godzilla, you have your various different forms of Godzilla. In the King Ghidorah deck, you could have things like the bad guys like Gigan and Biolantine, Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla, and in the good guys, you could have Rodan, you could have Mothra, you could have Godzilla, just a whole bunch of I loved Godzilla growing up as a kid. I love the old cheesy ones. I love the original Gojira, and I love like Godzilla -1 is probably in my top 5 for best movies I have ever watched, and favorite movies I have ever watched. So if Wizards gave me more Godzilla to buy, I'd be the first in line. Absolutely. Get it on in here. Bring it to me. I'll do it. And then my number 1 pick, and I've mentioned this before. I think I even mentioned it in my other Universes Beyond video, is Mass Effect. I love this series. Like, beyond just nostalgia, I think that Mass Effect is one of those game series that comes around only once in a great while, right? Everything about that series is just perfect to me, right? And with Mass Effect, although I do think that it would work better probably in Commander decks, you can make a whole set out of Mass Effect. You can have the Reapers, the Geth, you can have the Krogan, the humans, the Asari, the Turians. And think of it this way, right? So, like, something interesting I thought about this. In a way, for people to really get into, like, things that represent them is... So, Mass Effect has character creator. We make our Shepard however we want to make our Shepard, right? And we make our Rider in Andromeda however we want to make our Rider. So, maybe make a bunch of different versions of Commander Shepard, right? You have your default male Shep, you have your default femme Shep, and then give us a whole bunch. Give us non-binary Shepard. Give us all different shapes, sizes, and builds of our Commander Shepard, because then every one of those Mass Effects can see their character and see themselves in that character. And that's kind of like one of the things that Mass Effect did for me, is like, give me that sense of like, I can be a hero. And then, of course, you have the amazing support cast in Mass Effect, right? You have Garrus, you have Tali, you have Rex, Grunt, Legion, you have Joker. You can even do some vehicles with the Normandy, with the Destiny Ascension. You can make the Reapers into spacecraft, right? Like, you can, if you want to do commander decks with a set, you can have a Cerberus Reaper themed deck against like the Alliance and the Councils. You can have like different artifacts in the form of Prothean artifacts, etc. But man, oh man, would I love a Mass Effect set. I think like if another Mass Effect game does get made, I know we've been teased that, but I never want to keep my hopes up because EA is really terrible at shutting down studios. So I always fear for BioWare. But if they gave us a Mass Effect set, I would scoop that up in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, no questions asked, because that game series had such a big influence on my life. Just like Magic had a big influence on my life. So the question I have to all of you is, if there were any five intellectual properties, universes beyond things, what would they be for you? Would it be something like Dragon Ball Z? Would it be anything, right? Like, you want a Golden Girls secret lair? I know my friend Jason loves Golden Girls. He'd probably buy a Golden Girls secret lair, right? But the sky's the limit. And tell me what things that you would love. Stargate, Battlestar. I know those are all sci-fi themed, but those are just ones that I came up with off the top of my hand. Delicious in Dungeon, Vinland Saga, anything. You tell me what universes beyond would be that thing for you where you're like, oh man, I loved this. I want to get these as cards. As always, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next discussion video.